Since the onset of COVID-19, learning was paralyzed in almost all parts of the world. However, the Ministry of Education here in Kenya introduced virtual learning, which so far it has not been effective. Skills in technical institutions have been tricky to be taught. Fatma Ngwena with the report.
With the ever-rising cases of the unrelenting pandemic that is experienced across the world, the fate of resuming of learning institutions is still unknown, even though the Cabinet Secretary of Education, Professor George Magoha, said schools will resume in November. The Ministry of Education launched virtual learning across all education levels, but the idea has not been effective due to majority of the people not being able to access the e-learning platforms. According to Lewis Brown Madenge, a student at the Nyeri National Polytechnic and a student leader, says it is tricky for the skills in technical institutions to be taught virtually.
Government initiated the e-learning, where, especially now to the TVET institution where I am a student, we have challenges, very many challenges. First, because we are technical students, and now giving the skills through the virtual learning is kind of tricky because you have to use your hands. Our courses are majorly field work, and you're using your hands. So like getting the training from the lecturers through the virtual learning, it's quite difficult.
Madenge says they have been using class WhatsApp groups as class representatives to teach their classmates after they have been taught by their lecturers virtually.
The other challenge that protects that comes in the e-learning is now there are students whom were not able to have hustles, they were not privileged to have where they could start their own businesses. So you'll find the data getting connected to internet is kind of an issue, because you have to have data bundles.
Just like other students who have been left with no choice but to look for side hustles to keep them busy during this pandemic, Lewis Madenge has turned to this little business to make ends meet.
There are parents who got retrenched, so we were forced to start hustles, and that's why I thought of having a place where I would sell soap, meat, and during lunch times, because of the buildings that are here, I took the advantage of the people who were the constructors. So most of during lunch, they come here for their lunch.
Students in technical institutions now want the national government to consider them and put in measures to make the virtual learning process successful, and that schools should not resume earlier than January next year, since parents need enough time to prepare themselves with school fees. Fatma Ngwena, Switch TV.